I just wanted to let you know that that was happening before it was happening. So yeah, now it's happening. Please continue.
So yeah. To my knowledge, you didn't leave. Still down there.
Mm-hmm.
But you did spend some time looking over some things.
I feel like we've grabbed pretty much everything that isn't nailed down.
Mm-hmm.
Literally and metaphorically, I'm sure.
Excuse me. What was the amount we owed?
$850.
I assume that they can take items and value it as with before. Do we know that?
I would certainly hope so.
I would think so.
Cool.
But to answer the question, we do not know that.
No, we don't.
I mean, they did it before. It'd be weird
Right.
if they couldn't do it again. You at least trusted them to do it before.
Mm-hmm.
They ran the numbers once, they'll do it again.
All right, shall we head on out?
Yes.
All right. You exit the dungeon. You see a lot of somber faces as they realize you've been at least successful to some degree. You're heading over to the gentleman to have things appraised?
Yes.
Or... Sure.
Can they appraise everything for us and then we just decide what to give them?
Maybe.
As long as we can pay them their money, I think they don't have a problem with that.
Well, I guess I'll walk
Where do you
up.
head over to have appraised?
What?
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I'll walk up to them. I don't know.
Right. The gentleman in the top hat, I assume, with his little monocle as well. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I assume you're here to settle your debt.
We were wondering if we could get everything appraised and then we decide how to settle the debts exactly.
Well, what would you like appraised? He kind of motions over for his halfling friend to come stand ready to collect what you'd like him to look at.
Let's start with these onyx stones, which we have 10 of.
All right. Halfling takes it, spends a few moments, kind of writes on a piece of paper, hands it up to him. Looks like they're about 50 gold apiece.
Okay.
Not bad.
How
Looks like
about
we're already halfway there.
this weird scimitar?
Okay. Takes a few moments. You know the drill. Appears to be mundane, but quite ornate. Should run around 35 gold.
Okay. We have the Shield of Ra. Is that something anyone wanted, or was there anything special about that?
I'm assuming it's magic, but we haven't gotten it properly appraised.
Yeah.
That being said, I will shed a single manly tear if we have to part with it.
Yeah, can we get that appraised?
You see a bit of arcane flare flash across the halfling's eyes as he's inspecting the shield. It would appear this is a sentinel shield.
Ooh.
Quite a good find.
How much is it worth?
Ah, fairly uncommon item. I suppose it could run, depending on its quality, between... Oh, I'd say... somewhere between 100 and 500 gold,
Wow.
depending on the buyer.
What about a scroll of create bonfire? We have a couple scrolls that I'd like you to look at.
Scroll of create bonfire. Yes. Fairly common item. If memory serves. Should run around. Oh, I'd say 100 gold or so.
Oh.
Is that correct?
I'll take it.
Curious. Does that would it teach the cantrip to somebody, or is it strictly a single casting?
If you had the ability to learn the spell,
Assuming
then you
that.
could. It's a spell scroll, as a spell scroll usually is.
You can't typically learn a cantrip from a spell scroll, generally speaking.
Oh, is that a spell scroll, not a first level spell?
No, that's a cantrip.
Cantrip.
Okay. If it's a cantrip, then it's a cantrip. And we know how cantrips work.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
How about a scroll of fog cloud?
They all should be running around that same.
Great.
Just having to do each spell scroll.
I love it.
individually.
Yep.
They're all. Unless I'm wrong, they should all be first or lower scrolls.
Even the unidentified one?
The unidentified one. Let me see if it's in the compendium.
Healing Spirit is a second level spell.
Is it? That's a horse of a different color, possibly.
There are also a couple of low-level magical items that don't seem to be of any use to our group that might be good for us to turn in here. This Ursat's Eye, as well as this Dread Helm, seem to be things that aren't going to be useful to us.
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah, but-
correct on that?
Yeah, but what if I lose an eye in some sort of crazy situation?
I mean, having a backup eye probably isn't a terrible idea, I suppose.
Even hide armor if no one's wanting that.
That second level spell is in the same range as the Sentinel Shield.
100 to 500.
Mhm.
Okay.
I feel like there's. Oh, I was looking to see if this existed. No, it doesn't. Where did this spell come from?
I feel like we're just like laying all this shit out. We're like, oh, and this? What about this? How much is this worth?
This week on Antiques Roadshow.
What my
Or even this walloping ammunition? Is anybody
Yeah, I was
trying to
gonna
use
ask
that?
what that is.
bullets.
Is that? Oh, okay.
Walloping
Wall-
bullets?
Well, I don't have means for a
How-
bullet, so I don't need them.
How
Right.
rare are they? I mean, like, if one of us does go the gun route and get a gun, is it easy to acquire bullets?
Walloping.
Why didn't this show up?
So far as the magicness of them, they're fairly common, the walloping nature of these bullets. I don't know exactly how common bullets are necessarily, but the wallopingness of them
Oh, boy.
is a fairly normal thing.
Oh my goodness. Let me see.
Oh my goodness.
Are you
Oh
giving
my
them
God.
that other scroll?
Well,
The
To be
unidentified
clear,
one?
we are not giving them anything
we're
yet.
asking
Yeah,
We
you.
are
No,
getting
I know,
everything
I know,
appraised.
I know. You're trying to have them identify it, right?
Yes.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're willing to.
Yeah, we learned our lesson from that first interaction.
Now we're standing well back from the whole situation.
Well, this spell appears to be very rare. And if you can find a buyer for it, you may just be able to get somewhere in the ballpark. Is that true? Why, how did this end up here? That's what I want to know. Good rolls for you. You may end up getting anywhere from 5,000 to 50,000 if you know the right person to buy it.
What is this spell?
This is a spell of otherworldly guise.
Gotta look
Uh,
this up.
Yeah, just out of character, that's a 6th level spell. I kind of fucking love that spell. But it's a one-time. It's like it's not like a long-term use thing. It's
Right.
It's one-time thing.
Okay, so
But
while
great
you're
spell.
doing that, we still want to have the hide armor praised, the dread helm, and the walloping ammunition, and the earth's
not?
eye.
Yeah, yeah. If they're willing to give prices for all this stuff, I'd like to hear them.
We're just like pretending we found all this stuff in this dungeon. Like, oh yeah, this is definitely all down there.
I mean, to be fair, we don't have to pay with the stuff we found in the dungeon.
Right,
Correct.
right. It's just all about getting
Yeah,
back to.
that's true.
You just owe the money. These items here are all fairly common and run the same range, about 100, somewhere between 0 to 100 gold.
Wow, that otherworldly guys is crazy.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's on
Yeah.
Branch's next level is taking that spell.
Anyone who's like cocking their head like, what the hell? They're only level 4 now. I mean, I rolled a treasure hoard for that appropriate CR. And that was one of the things that came off the table. So it was perfectly legal within the DMG.
Sorry,
that
what was the
reminds me,
thing
I'm
that
gonna
you
spend a
just gave an appraisal for?
All those items, the eye, the dread helm, and there was something else, right?
The
Agatrix?
hide armor, the walloping ammunition.
Oh, the walloping.
Oh.
And the bag of tricks.
I suppose we could get that done too, but do we need to get rid of that one? That one seems so fun.
The eye and the helmet are each worth somewhere between 0 and 100 gold.
Hide armor, I assume, is hide armor, right? We know what that costs.
I believe so.
Yeah. And then the walloping ammunition is a common thing as well. And the bag of tricks, I think, is also a common item. Though I think it's like 1 to 500 is my guess, but I'm not 100% on that.
And holding bag of tricks.
In other news, if we could find a buyer for that otherworldly guys,
Mm-hmm.
then I could get my horse right now.
Uncommon, yeah, it's going to be around 100 to 500 as well.
For the bag of tricks?
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
The walloping ammo was the 0 to 100 range.
If I remember what walloping does, it's just like,
A 10 DC, otherwise they're knocked down.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, probably. It's expensive ammo. Magic ammo.
Yep.
What was the price that went with that? Sorry.
The
Well-
walloping?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think we'll call it 100 gold, because what's the normal price of ammo?
For the 10 lot or each?
For the box, we'll call it a box of 10.
Okay.
What about this metallic gold disc crescent or metallic gold and onyx crescent artifact thing? Is that something we
big?
needed to keep, or is that something we could try to?
If I
Well, I-
understand correctly, it seemed like a key of some sort, or was I misunderstanding? It
We
felt
can neither
similar. Well, yeah,
we
we
can neither
can't
confirm
confirm
nor
or
deny that it is in fact a piece of the
Okay.
key.
But it feels vital, so we're not selling it. Got it. Okay.
That's my thoughts. I mean,
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so do we want to go ahead and... I've updated all the stuff on the list with prices and everything. If
Wait, you did
refresh-
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm normally the one who does.
Oh, yeah.
What's the problem?
No problem whatsoever.
Did I do something wrong?
I just said no.
Okay. So we should then decide on what to sell. I suggest we start with these onyx stones that are worth 500 gold.
fine with me.
No. Wait. Okay.
That's-
I see what you're doing. Total. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
something went wrong. They're not each worth 500 gold.
Yeah, no.
Unless-
as a group.
Should we give them the stuff that's harder to maybe sell in general? I don't know if it's easier or not to sell spell scrolls or other items, but
Sure.
I don't know. What do y'all think? Because I would assume it's easy to sell stones to the right person,
Yeah, I suppose so.
but maybe that's
Um,
true of everything. I don't know.
I guess if you find the right person, but I
Yeah.
think finding the right person for precious stones is probably easier than some of these other things.
That's my thoughts.
Maybe we should get rid of this dread helm first.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't think that's any of our aesthetic.
No.
Mhm. That's fine.
And I don't know how much we're going to be using these other spell scrolls here. Not the
Right.
Otherworldly
Oh, yeah.
Gods
No.
one, but
No.
seeing how much we can get for the Healing Spirit one, as well as the Fog Cloud and Create Bonfire might take us a long way towards our goal.
Yeah.
Mhm. Let's
I
start with that
agree.
and see how much we owe at the end of that.
So I think starting with the Healing Spirit and seeing how much they're actually willing to offer for that might be the best way of going about it.
Okay.
Agreed.
And so we do.
Okay.
And that was the 100 to 500 item. Was the first one.
Okay.
And I assume the sheriff can just have this shield, right? I don't think anybody's going to have any issue with that.
Oh no, I'll have it.
You don't know how much this means to me. It's so damn cool.
You deserve it, Sheriff.
I'm taking it out of our shared spoil, so make sure to put it on your sheet. The Sentinel Shield.
It'll be there in a shack.
I'll offer you 130 gold off your debt for this spell scroll.
Excuse me.
You're excused.
Okay.
that will take us down to 720 gold left. And this dread helm, I believe we also decided
Mm-hmm.
is something that you can use, or we cannot, rather.
The Dread Helm. Do all this, I guess. How about 90 gold?
Sure.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Go down to
So we're-
640.
630.
How about the other two spell scrolls that we're going for next?
Mm-hmm.
The create bonfire and fog cloud, to be clear.
Same range.
They're 100 each. That's what was written down.
I will offer you. Is that right? Yes. 147 gold for both. How does that work? Guess that does work.
All right.
Works for me. Puts us at 483.
Now we gotta do real math.
Oh, that's what calculators are for. Ursat's eye?
And that again is what I said before.
0 to 100 is what you said.
How about looks slightly used? How about 80 gold? I've been randomly through dice determining the percentage of the price that they would offer you, by the way, if in case you're wondering what the hell's going on.
I wondered no such thing.
Okay.
This here longbow should be worth somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 gold as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is that you trying to put it up for offer?
Yes, that was the idea there.
Ah. I like you. 50 gold.
Yes.
What are we at now?
353.
All right.
Did anyone look up how much this hide armor is worth?
Not I.
I could have it in a second.
I have it at around 10 gold myself.
Well,
Sounds right.
may as well offload it.
Mm-hmm.
How much will you pay for it?
We'll do 10.
Okay. So, do we want to do the bag of tricks? Do we want to do the walloping ammunition? The weird scimitar?
Is anybody going to be using that scimitar? I have no
No.
reason to keep it around.
Not me.
It counts as a finesse weapon. It's about the same as my rapier, but with slashing. And also incredibly nifty. If we must part with it, I'm willing.
I
Okay,
think
how about the
that-
walloping ammunition?
I'm not gonna go guns. Excuse me.
Yeah,
Wasn't-
unless we want to give old Pete a trinket of our adventuring.
Well, he has gone through a lot of trouble.
He did offer to help fight, and he was a mighty help.
Mm-hmm.
You did blow away like 5 dudes.
That would be a kind gesture.
And, Sheriff, if you'd prefer to sell your rapier and take on the scimitar, I think that would be perfectly acceptable. It's only about a 10 gold difference between the two. Are you especially attached to your current rapier?
I am trying to determine whether or not I am attached to this rapier.
Fair. Yeah, that's a character decision.
hmm
Yeah, let's skip the scimitar for now.
Okay.
I mean,
We'll
I
hold
definitely
on to
think
it.
we have enough stuff that we don't have to decide
Yeah.
about now.
Definitely.
Yeah, what are we currently looking at?
We still owe 343.
Oh, damn.
But we have not yet turned in these onyx stones,
Mm-hmm.
nor any gold at all. We also have held on to the bag of tricks.
Yeah, I was about to ask about the cash. So we haven't given up any of the gems.
Mm-mm.
None yet.
Or any of the gold that we found.
I mean, I think the gold should be last, just in
I
case we
agree.
don't have to give up any and we can just divide it amongst ourselves.
But we can definitely go to these onyx stones next.
Yeah.
Mhm. And so we do.
I think we could just cover the difference with that.
What would 7 of these look like for you folks? 7 of these delightful, delicious onyx stones.
Man, come on. Go. I said they were worth 50. Oops, 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 oops. Damn it. I could, for the lot of these, not knowing the exact qualities, I could give 315 gold for them.
For all 10.
You said 7.
I did say 7. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yep. Nope. That makes more sense.
How about 8 and we call the debt square?
Sure.
Fantastic.
Works for me.
Well, it has been a pleasure. Congratulations on your first adventure as an adventuring party, and I am both sorry and confused. Good day. I must get preparations underway to leave. I do.
Have you
Except-
heard of any other places opening up?
He's gone.
What? I
Mhm.
can't. Does he disappear?
He's gone from you.
All right, fine. Ignore me like that.
I should go.
You see him start getting people packing up the cart that is there, that is his, the desk and all that nature that was there for organization purposes. You see the other groups start moseying back towards the tavern, kicking rocks, if you will. Also preparing, like they're going to be leaving soon as well.
Thank goodness.
Should we take these over to Old Pete? These bullets?
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Seems like a nice little dungeon warming gift.
All right. You find Pete's house easy enough. He's out front resting his leg on an old rocking chair. Like he's sitting in an old rocking chair with his leg propped up on a stool. Just kind of overseeing all the bullshit that's happening on his land.
Before we actually get up to Pete,
Uh-huh.
I have a question about the bag of tricks. Actually, do we still have a smelly ass bear and rat and goat around at this point?
Think about that. Did you guys long rest after
No.
doing all that?
Not
We
yet.
had a long rest.
Yeah, we did a. Did we do any rest?
Oh yeah. You at least
We
did a
did
short.
short
Oh, that
rest
was
in
what
the
we
dungeon.
were playing with it while we were short resting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
It was a goat, a rat, and a bear.
Yes.
Then, if all you guys did was short rest, then I guess you probably do still have it with you for now.
All right, so that entire scene, but with a bear.
and a goat and a rat.
Nobody seemed to be particularly taken aback. They're used to animal companions and such. Maybe some stronger reactions to the odors emanating from your group. That's about it. Make sure. Yeah. They would still be with you for now. None of them seem to have taken any damage or anything like that. Anything else? Any other questions?
No, that was my big one.
Ooh, has the top of the dungeon stopped firing off ominous lights?
Never got this far before. Yes. Yes, it has.
And now the land can begin to heal.
I guess now we can approach old Pete.
Okay. As I said, he's there in the rocking chair, leg propped up. He's kind of smiling to himself as he looks out over the work being concluded on his farm.
Salutations! How you doing?
Pretty good considering.
Yeah, I heard it was y'all that got to go in. I'm mighty glad about it. Couldn't think of a better cluster of folk for it to happen to. Well, what brings you over here?
We got something for you.
Oh, is that right? What you got?
Here you go.
Thanks. Yeah, bullets. Cool.
Specifically wallop and ammunition.
Okay.
If you ever find yourself needing to use that gun again, figured you might as well have something nice to shoot.
I take your point. Hope I don't have to pull it out anytime soon. I had enough excitement for one lifetime, and hell now maybe old Pete gets to take it easy, huh?
Here's hoping.
Did the guild give you a good price for the dungeon on your land?
Oh yeah. Things are gonna be changing for old Pete here.
Good.
Hopefully not too much. Don't want to let the gold get to the brain. I had a cousin that happened to. Never was the same. Cross-eyed, too. Anyway,
Say, what happens to the dungeon afterwards? Like, you get to do whatever you want with it because it's on your land?
well, yeah, maybe it does belong to me. I'm thinking just maybe burying it back up and who knows? Maybe I can plant something there, a tree or I don't know. Haven't put too much thought into it.
I think Tower might have had some thoughts on it, did you? Oh, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. My apologies.
Seemed to got them all loop.
Just that it is a well-constructed little piece of architecture there, and I wasn't all that sure how it worked as far as ownership goes, but once I got that it wasn't ours, the bidding merely was for exploration purposes, my ideas went to soil very quickly. However, um, burying it or not is, of course, Pete's choice. There is plenty in there to work with as far as a possible place to live or share with others.
Well, I guess I could leave it open. Was it interesting down there? Maybe people would like to come see it or something. I could charge admissions and have people look about. I assume you all took the valuables out. As far as I'm concerned, you're welcome to them.
Yeah, it was real nifty down there. Lights and whatnot in stone. Very peculiar.
That it
Well,
was.
maybe I won't get old Betsy out there burying her up just yet.
For what it's worth, I think we did a fairly good job clearing the place out. Nothing guaranteed, of course, but we looked really hard for things that might cause danger.
All right. Well, I appreciate the bullets. I did use quite a few during that tussle.
And of course, these ones will help keep folk down should they need shooting.
Yep. There ain't no better negotiation like knocking someone on their ass.
Words of wisdom. Anyway, have a pleasant evening.
As to you.
And you see old Betsy come out from within with like a tray with a lemonade on it.
Thank you kindly.
And he takes the lemonade to drink. Is that all you want to do with old Pete?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's good with him for now.
And you did not get that piece of praise, right? You just kept it hold of it.
What?
The gold,
The
metallic
dungeon,
gold.
the weird dungeon piece.
Oh,
Yeah, we still have a hold of it.
Okay, just checking.
And we, like, as the people who won the bid, we do have, like, access to this dungeon as much as we want in perpetuity. Is that accurate? Or is, like, the transaction done now that we've arrived alive?
I mean, it's done, but it's old Pete's place, so
Okay.
if you want to go back in, he'll probably let you in.
Fair enough.
Should we divide up this here monies that we got?
Yeah.
No reason not to. However, what of the goods?
I think we should find a good buyer for that otherworldly guys.
Should we keep any group money for things like bids for other dungeons? Is that something we're pursuing after this? Or did we only become a party because it was a local dungeon?
It does seem like the goal of our party has been met at this point.
But we did pay an awful lot.
Sure
So,
did.
to get more use out of our money, I think we should maybe perhaps go find some other dungeons to delve.
be-
I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think that sounds fun.
We did pretty well, too.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, exploring new places and mapping them out is something that touches me at the core of my programming.
Oh,
Well, it sounds like you're made for this then.
And in all fairness, the oath of a paladin is to strike down evil where it stand. Perhaps it might be time to find a new place.
That
All
being
right.
the case, then perhaps yes, some shared group goal for further bidding might be a good way of going about things.
But I have a feeling we went way above and beyond what we needed to do this time.
What gave you
Something
that
tells
idea?
me that, we don't necessarily need all 780
No,
gold.
no, definitely not. Maybe we could leave 200 in there and then split the rest. What do
That's
you
fine
think?
with me.
Oh, absolutely works for me. The golds will weigh heavy in my pockets for a long time.
So
Tell you
that's
what, you can hold
145
on to
gold
mine.
each. Okay.
Hmm?
I was saying that's 145 gold each.
All right. Even it's all the same to y'all. If I could have one of the Onyx gems, I'll put 50 gold pieces of that back into the kit.
fine by me.
Sure.
Sure.
So that should be 250 gold left in the spoils, right?
Mm-hmm. Do we want to split the silver?
Eh.
Yeah. It's just a nice number that evenly divides by 4, so
That's true.
seems like might be the time to do it.
Sure.
5 silver each. Yeehaw!
What was the gold split again?
95
95 for you.
140. What?
145 for everyone, but you
Okay.
are doing
95.
95.
and then the onyx stone.
And the onyx stone.
Now, we don't know anyone about town who could use this here spell, correct?
Not in my memory banks.
If anybody here knows how to use that spell, I think we would have been outdone.
That's true. Do we even know of anyone in the neighboring town? Does anyone run across a magic user like that? Speaking
Not
of
that I
which,
know.
after coming out that dungeon, I feel a bit magical myself.
How
Oh!
do you now?
I do. I don't know what it is, but something just clicked.
Do you think perhaps you might be able to use a scroll like this?
Oh no, that's way out of my range. Besides, I want the money.
Very fair. It is a large amount of gold.
Well, should we rest and then maybe meet up at the tavern tomorrow to discuss some ideas for where we could venture out next?
Sounds good.
I think
Yeah.
putting our affairs into order for this town, so we might be able to head on out, might be a good thing for all of us to do this evening. I have a job to quit.
I guess I need to find someone to run my ranch
I have traps to take down.
or sell it.
Gonna let the wildlife grow back and be even more plentiful when we get back.
I've got a small piece of legal aesthetic needs to come in the mail.
All things done in good time, I'm sure. For now, a nice rest.
Do you recall how
Let's say
long that
goodbye
was
to our
gonna take,
pets.
by the way?
Hmm?
Do you remember how long you were given for that to be done?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that should have been about. Yeah, it would have arrived in 10 days between the craft time and the Pony Express.
Goodness, since then. It should have been about
2-3 days tops.
3. It was 3. It would have been 3 days to get back
Yeah,
from
3
that
days
town.
travel, and then like 2 more days now.
Yeah, so there you go.
Courier will find us, right?
Skyrim rules
Yeah,
pop
yeah.
up at the most inopportune time.
Well, then we're here for another week. No reason to rush out, right?
Yeah. That gives us
Or
plenty of
or a
time to
few
get things
more days,
settled.
right?
Say again?
It's supposed to come in a few more days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that should give us plenty of time to put our affairs in order over the next few days.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's say goodbye to our pets for the day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Is that how this works? These are our pets for a short amount of time, and then they leave after? We've yet to... We'll see. I personally am fond of this rat.
I like the goat.
Well, I hope they have a pleasant life, whatever happens next. I'm gonna go up to the top of Raven's Hill to rest. Raven's Hill, is that right? Sure. Why not?
Sure. That is the name of that hill.
There it is.
Talking
There you
about.
go. It is.
Okay. So everyone's gonna rest for the evening.
Mhm.
Sure. I'll say hour. You can make a perception check as you get up to Raven's Hill to take your rest for the evening. You do notice horse hoof tracks in the area, and you end up finding the stub of a rolled tobacco.
Oh. You did call it a
Well.
cigarette. Are we going with cigarettes, or are we going with its own special fantasy name here?
I don't know. Whatever
Fair.
sounds more fun. We all know it's basically a cigarette, but
It's a
you know,
death
it's hand
stick,
rolled.
right?
It's
Yeah.
hand rolled.
Fancy.
And I don't know how your character might be able to determine the quality, but you know, that could be a thing as well.
Ooh, how about Tinderlip?
Ooh, Tenderlip is nice. That's a very stupid fantasy word. I like it.
Oh, Jesus.
That makes me feel like it's chewing tobacco.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm sure there's various types of things with various different names. Tinderlip could be one of them.
How about lip tinder for chewing tobacco, and tinder wrap for the cigarette?
Ooh.
Sure, it's not going to bother me. But you find the
Throwing them out there.
you find the bud of it, or whatever you want to call it, the butt.
Sure. That's peculiar. Do I know any smokers in town?
I'm sure people on occasion are prone to it, but make an intelligence check.
I will do this thing.
You don't recognize this as anyone's particular brand that you know of, that you've seen. I mean, there have been a lot of visitors in town as well.
Sure. But still, not something that's sold at the saloon I work at, for instance.
Right. Yeah.
Gotcha.
This looks a little more exotic, and personally, people might laugh at me for saying it, but I find it akin to, like, you know, someone smoking, like being accustomed to like Marlboro cigarettes and then seeing a clove on the ground.
Totally
what I mean?
different. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Having grown up with both my parents smoking Marlboros in a community of menthol smokers. Yeah, I know the difference.
Right. Yeah. Or my mom smoked menthols for a long time, so yeah, it's kind of similar. But like cloves are even a breed among their own.
Oh
right?
yeah, that's totally other thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
So that's what I
absolutely.
mean. Like it's you, like even a layman looks on the ground and they're like, "That's weird," or "That's different." Weird might not be the right word. Give me 1 second. I want to grab some liquid. It's literally feet
Sure.
away from me.
Tower is unhappy that somebody's littering in the forest. That's one thing that passes through their mind. Its mind.
Okay. So that's what you find on your rest. Other than that, everyone has even Tower still has a long rest, energized, letting the day seep from your muscles if you have them and if they're sore.
Mhm.
You eventually find yourself on a new day in the town of Mayfield. A little quieter than usual. Carriages have begun showing up periodically, and you watch as these people that have been staying here for quite some time slowly trickle away.
I approached the younger gentleman that approached us after having won the bid, and I bid him adieu.
Very good to meet you, sir, and I hope we will meet again. And he kind of does this if about to say, like if he were to say "milady," it would make sense, but he's not. He's just doing like one of those over exaggerated bows, like hand up, and climbs into the wagon with the rest of the group that he's with. And you see the coachman kind of just do the as it goes away. He sticks himself waist out, of the window, like hanging that far out of the window and waving back to you. Bye-bye, basically.
Goodbye. And I make my way over to the saloon to put in my notice.
Sure. It's a lot quieter. Seems to be just the usual suspects inside. Glory is cleaning up tables. She seems to be a little more at ease than she's been the past few days.
Good morning, Glory.
She just kind of gives you a nod and keeps clearing tables. Smooth Hands is behind the bar there. And the saloon is yours to walk around.
I actually forget who's in charge here. who I'd be giving my notice to.
That's true. Joe DiPaolo owns the place. She's not immediately visible, but I would think that both you and Glory work under Smooth Hands as well. He's kind of like the head person. Joe's more of just an owner and personality of the place, if you will.
Sure.
It doesn't necessarily handle like the actual function of the saloon itself.
All right, well, in that case, I approach Smooth Hands. I say, well, Smooth Hands, I am coming with some pleasant and some less pleasant news. I hope your morning is well enough to accept some unpleasant news.
Hopefully.
It seems that my journey in life has brought me to a point where I must move on from the town, and therefore I can no longer work at the saloon here.
Well, that is terrible news. But we'll miss you.
but I understand a man's got to make their mark when they can, and I assume the same is true for you. So
Yes, and what with the recent happenings with the dungeon in the town has led myself and a few of the other folk in town to decide to make a go of things. So we're going to be moving on.
well, you're
Anyway,
welcome here. So
oh, well, thank you very much. And if you need of anything, please do send word for me. I will never cease to be loyal to this place.
that means a lot, Tower. Safe travels.
And to you.
The world is wild, I guess.
Anywho, see you around the next few days.
Okay.
Yep. And yeah, that's pretty much it there.
Awkward quitting.
Yeah,
Complete.
had to be done. Had to be done.
Is there anything else people are trying to do?
I have a Workforge, right?
Workforge. That's a good name that I
What's
should have
the
just
war?
given the Reaper.
Wait,
Warforge. You're no longer a Warforge. You're a Workforge. That makes sense.
Yep.
Anyways,
I have one of those older models, right? That
I think
works
we
on
said
my
yes.
ranch.
I think we said yes.
Would they be able to just maintain the operations of the ranch as normal? Or do I really need a human to do that? Or not human, but a living being.
Oh,
The particular thing that you have is more akin to the thing like Pete has. It is not a sentient being.
Yeah, I know that.
It-
I'm just saying, is
Definitely
it
like a machine. It would carry out its duties every day without being given another task, and
do you think that would
that
be
could be bad.
enough to satisfy? I mean, because I assume it's all just the same stuff without knowing all the details of a ranch of putting out the hay and the water and this and making sure the animals are
And
here.
it would continue to do that even if all your animals are dead. That's what I'm saying. Without someone stopping it.
Right, but is the one Warforge enough to maintain that, or do you think there needs to be other help if I were to leave it for long periods of time?
This is cattle that you're saying that you have. I mean, depending on how much cattle you really think you have.
Not much. This is just a retirement thing.
Mhm. So what are you thinking? 4 cows? 5 cows?
Oh, I thought more than that, but not like, acres and acres of them. I don't know. 20?
Well, I mean, like I said, yeah. If it can handle feeding and watering and such, but it might be a little strained in the actual running of a ranch. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll try it out.
Okay.
Just not really, doing anything. Although I might try and sell some of these cattle to maybe make it less of a workload and so I can get some money. Could that be a thing?
Is selling cattle a thing? Is that what you're asking?
Well, I know that's a thing, but I guess how involved of a process, would I be able to do that here in town? Or do I have to go elsewhere?
I think the only other person that does stuff like that out of the list of people in front of me is Egon I think I said had a cattle farm too.
Oh, okay.
That's the person there. Otherwise, yeah,
No.
you can try your hand at one of the other towns.
Well, I'll go talk to Egon then.
Or a butcher, or I don't know.
I'll try Egon first.
Okay. And I assume you trudge up to his home and knock on his door.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll answer the door. Mm-hmm. What can I do
Hey.
for you?
Hey there, Egon.
Howdy.
I don't know if you heard about the kind of adventuring party that the group that went into the dungeon here is forming, but I see myself possibly leaving town for long periods of time, and so I was hoping to get some of my cattle off my hands to make it easier while I'm gone. Would you be interested in buying some?
Well, how many you looking to offhand?
Oh, 5 perhaps, 5.
Well, I suppose I could take them off your hands if you're looking to get rid of them.
Name your price.
Oh, for you. You've done a lot for this town, and I do appreciate it. Times being what they are. How about... cloves for 1 pig. That ain't right. How about 10 gold a head?
Would I assume that's a good amount? Is that
That is about the going rate for 1 cow.
okay?
I mean, it's Egon, but if you don't trust him, you can make an insight check.
No, I didn't know what the range is myself, me as a player, so I didn't know whether to. Well, that's mighty kind of you.
It's not really above or below actual cost.
Yeah. That
It's not
sounds good to
above it.
me.
Okay.
So we're saying 50 gold for the 5?
Yeah, with the addition of the outsiders, if you'll forgive my common coming through here, I think I can swing about 50 gold for 5 cattle.
We got a deal. I stick out my hand
Okay.
to shake. Assuming that's a custom here.
Of course it is. It's meaty in your lizard grasp.
Thank
There's a
you.
strength to the shake as he shakes your hand. Well, if you got to get going, don't you worry about bringing them here. I know where your place is. I can rustle them up for you. Just set them aside for me, and
That I will.
okay.
Nice doing business with you.
Yeah, sure. Don't be a stranger.
I'll try not.
Okay. Well, if that's it, I'm
Oh yeah.
gonna get back to my breakfast if you don't mind. But
I'll leave you to it.
I have more to
Have
say.
a nice day.
Always
Thought-
enjoy talking. Oh,
Thought
all
we
right.
were already kind of closing it out,
Yep.
but all right, I'm
Yep.
leaving now.
Okay. Yeah. Shuts the door. Any other to-dos, folks?
God, I hope I'm not as awkward. Yeah, my thing will happen probably at the end.
Okay.
Aranoa would go and check her traps again, and would wait to take them down until we know when we're actually leaving. So that would just be a daily thing that she does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, if we're talking about like daily stuff in preparation, during the days we wait, Tower's going to be training acrobatics, spending its time climbing, jumping, moving from tree to tree, getting used to moving around quickly and with grace. Is the idea there?
Okay. I'm more interested that the monk didn't have acrobatics trained to start.
Very fair, but there was other stuff happening.
Yeah. No. Hey, it's interesting to me.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll say that. If that's what you're waiting on to happen, then yeah, the wagon will arrive. The equivalent to the Wells Fargo wagon will show up and start unloading stuff to be taken to Warren's Peace. You do see a few. Let me make sure that's correct. You do see a few crates that look slightly more unusual than. That was the correct sentence.
It cut out for me.
You're breaking up there.
Oh, that's no good. Shame
Agreed,
on you.
just little.
Shame on you, Discord. Yeah, you do see some crates that are a little more out of the ordinary than usual than you're used to seeing come into Warren's Peace. You heard all that, right? The wagon has come. This is the day that the wagon has come.
Yeah.
They're probably about, if I had to guess, they're probably about 4 feet long, some of them. And about, 1.5 to 2 feet deep. And there's about two that big, and then there's 2 that are probably about 2 feet by a 1.5 deep again. Another 2 crates like that being offloaded to War and Peace. But the gentleman is there. Seems to be a dwarf. If you're keeping track of that sort of thing, that works for the what I call it, the wagon company, delivering the packages there. So you are welcome to interact with him directly, or see if what you're looking for is at the post office.
All right, I'm willing to strike up a little bit of conversation. It looks like you got quite a bit coming in today.
Yeah, looks like Warren put in a bigger order this time around.
Well, it's all for Warren.
Mostly. Few personals.
Well, you don't happen to have something on hand for me, would you?
Depends. What's your name, friend?
Flint Westhill.
All right, let me check. Flint Westhill. And he starts digging through some of the packages that are still in the back of the wagon. He unloaded the big things first. Oh, here you go. Small package. Looks to be the right size for the item you've ordered.
Yeah, I think that would about do it.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much. Hope the rest of your route goes nicely.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Roads are pretty dangerous sometimes. But sleeping a little bit easier now that the Big Elden gang's off the trail, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I hear you.
Did you catch the hanging?
No, unfortunately, we had to take off before it occurred.
I'd miss it myself. I imagine it was quite satisfying.
And what can I say? Work is work. Sometimes we don't get to enjoy the fruits of our labors as it is.
Don't I know it? Well, if you'll excuse me, he starts dragging the big boxes towards Warren's. By basically lifting one side up and dragging the other end through the dirt.
Yeah, I'll give him a hand with that if he'll accept.
Oh, he will. I'll make a strength check. Oh, yeah. It's a lot heavier than you thought, but you lift it no problem.
Yeah, what's Warren ordering these days?
Honestly, I don't, buyer, seller, confidentiality. I just haul the
Oh,
stuff.
no worries about that. It's rhetorical.
Okay. You set up the porch and, and he bangs on the front door, and Warren, comes out of it and slaps his hands together, almost Mr. Burns style, like,
Excellent. Let's bring her over to the barn here and the warehouse, and yep, that's where we'll be going. Howdy, Sheriff.
Good afternoon, Warren.
I do appreciate you helping this fine gentleman for the ordering.
It did seem like a bit of a move. Just doing the neighborly thing there.
Thank you. Let me get it open for you. And he goes around to where the barn is, which is just the next building over, unlocks the door area so you guys can haul that in.
And haul I shall.
All right. And it takes just a few trips, but you get the boxes in. No problem.
Well, thank you. And be sure to come by the store if you're looking for anything new. I'm, after the, better than anyone. After what happened a week ago or so, I figured it's about time. About time to stock up and be ready for such things. Well, thank you.
What you mean, what exactly do you mean by that? What you got here?
Oh, sure. And he cracks open one of the crates, and you see a bunch of hay inside the box. Kind of moves the box away, and what you see before you, in this particular box, seems to be a bunch of rifles. I just figured, you never know. You never know who's going to show up to town, and we got families
Sweet.
here, right? And I figured only, especially with the other folk coming, they bought up half my stock. To be honest, I figured I might as well get some things a little more interesting, right?
Sweet mother of Ra, that is some beautiful equipment right there.
I got these, and I got these as well. And he opens up the smaller box, and same thing, but these ones are revolvers.
Well, I'm supposing I might let some of the others in the group know that some particularly interesting equipment's come through town.
You'll find Tower out, doing its acrobatics thing. What equipment would that be?
You would not believe what he's got in today. Rifles and pistols.
Huh. Well, I'm guessing that's for the protection of the town then, huh?
That it would be.
Seems like a good idea. Too bad. Or did we ever figure out if there's any way to use one of those bad boys in a way that isn't so deadly? And that's a question both to the sheriff and to the DM. I actually don't remember where that conversation landed with possibly being able to shoot non-lethally.
I think we decided you'd need to get appropriate ammo.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like rubber or Yeah, rubber bullets are like enchanted stunning ammo.
Because, yeah, having one or two of those might be handy to have around out on our travels, but I just don't love the idea of putting someone down that if I don't have to do that. You hear me, Sheriff?
Yeah, I get you on that.
But might be worth picking one or two up just in case.
Yeah, and also, for argument's sake, how much one of those things running?
One of what things?
One of each.
Yeah.
Well, for the rifle, the piece itself goes for around 100 gold. Revolver, it's a little more pricey, a little more involved. Tell you the truth, it goes around for 150.
Good to know.
And having been just told about it, and in fact, during that conversation, actually, speaking of interesting things that have come into town recently, and Tower pulls out the butt of the tender wrap and says, "This seems to be unusual for these parts. Found it up on Raven's Hill."
Yeah, I was going to say, you didn't look the type that could.
I have the capability of moving air if I need to. That is how I make sound.
Fair enough. So you're saying somebody was up on the hill?
A stranger, probably someone from out of town. Could have been one of the guests that were around recently, but don't know if I noticed any of them smoking one of these.
Yeah, do we recall any of the previous adventurers smoking anything like this?
Good question. Make an intelligence check. Not really.
Yeah, don't reckon I recall such.
Well, I think I will go over there and buy one of those revolvers, just in case.
Hey, don't let me stop you. Only way I gotta go see a person about a star.
Do you know how to go about using guns?
Let me see. Well, just to make sure before
Also
I
a
tell
fair
you.
question.
Firearm.
Because I assume none of us have proficiency at this point.
Well, that's the thing.
Does it count as a martial weapon of sorts, or does it count as...
So firearms are ranged weapons. If you are proficient with simple weapons or any type of crossbows, you are proficient with simple firearms. Wielding martial firearms with proficiency requires proficiency gained from a feature. So, in the realm of what is a simple firearm, revolvers and hunting rifles, which is what you were just described, are under simple firearms.
Wow, that means they actually count as a monk weapon for me as well. So that all goes together. That's really nice.
Welcome to Gunkata, bruh.
Yeah.
And there is literally a thing about what do they call it? Guns akimbo. When you take the attack action and attack with a firearm with the light property that you're holding in one hand, you can use a bonus action to attack with a different firearm with the light property that you are holding in the other hand. You don't add you know how that works. It's like two weapons.
Yeah. I don't know, with the martial arts feature already, I think I'm good with because my bonus actions are already going to be doing other shit. We'll see what happens. I'm just
throwing that out there because it's a question. Like, well, what if I want to dual wield revolvers? That's a whole thing there. Like, two weapon fighting, and dual wielder all play into that as well.
Nice.
But you
nice.
still get the same. You still have the same capabilities as if some Joe Schmo wants to dual wield without any other bonuses, right? You can still do it
Cool.
with the guns.
For now, I
So-
will spend that money and put the revolver on my character sheet.
Are you gonna? Do you want to buy ammo for it as well?
I'll ask what ammo they have available.
They have standard revolver ammo. It's 5 gold for 10 pieces.
I will skip on the standard ammo. I'm going to keep my eye out for some kind of specialized ammo that does non-lethal damage.
Okay.
So for now, it's going to be a useless gun, and I get that.
Mhm.
But I'll keep my eye out.
I'm not worried
I don't
about it.
know. It's a nice little club you got there.
Sure.
There should be. Oh, I guess you need to know these things. I'm wondering if I should allow you to see the store or not. Eh. Um. So basically, let's see what's important about that. It is a revolver. It does a D8 of damage, piercing. It takes revolver ammo.
Already working on it. Yeah, a revolver. Yeah. I assume that's a dex thing. If I want it to be.
It's a ranged weapon. So
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Of course. You said D8.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It has to use revolver ammo specifically.
Revolver
And
ammo.
its range is 40, 80.
Got it.
And then there's a whole mess of properties that well, I guess there's not. It's just ammunition, of course, which that's a whole thing for rules.
Yep.
Under that firearms handout, it kind of details what each of these mean, but it has kick 10.
Okay, I'll put that in.
It's
and
light.
Yep.
And it's reload 5.
And I'll read what all that means.
I know that the reload 5 means that it has 5 shots before you have to reload it.
Sure, 5-shot revolver. Got it.
Yeah. And the kick 10, I think, is a strength requirement to be able to use it without, it's like the kickback on the gun. I'm pretty sure that's what all that means. Let me double check that kick. Ammunition ban.
I got it here.
Yep. Oh, it would just, if you didn't have the minimum,
Right?
yeah. If you didn't have the minimum strength, I think you would have disadvantage on your gunshots.
Mm-hmm. And you do not meet. And I would need to make a saving throw, but yeah, my strength is over 10. We're good there.
So that's what's yeah. You just have to make sure that the guns that you decide to use fall within that range. Otherwise, you risk getting blown to your ass, I guess. I don't,
Yeah, sure. Fair enough.
Gnome with
Cool.
a shotgun can be a totally different experience. So the gnome is built a certain way. Okay. So yeah, you have one revolver, no ammunition.
I'm picturing
Actually, the
a
walloping
gnome.
would have been revolver. I should have noted that, but
Oh, what was that? Huh?
I guess I need
Sorry.
to start saying like the bullets. I need to attribute the bullets to a type of ammo when I give them out, and I will go
Sure.
ahead and say that the walloping was for revolver, but you did give them away. But
Yeah.
he can, Ulti, should he want to use them, can use them. I
Mhm.
always intended that for them to be like that, so it's fine.
Cool. So, and I let as the rest of the day goes on, I guess I let everybody know that I'll be looking for non-lethal ammo in the towns that we're going to be going to. So, keep your eyes out.
There's a feat that lets you cast your spells through your gun, like that.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought that was so fucking cool.
And I'm just imagining like a healer, firing a fucking shooting their friend in the face for cure wounds, 4th level spell.
Oh, good shit.
No, literally just running around as the TF2 medic.
Yeah,
That
with
just
like non-damaging bullets. Yes.
that just made me think of the Harry Potter thing where someone replaced it all with guns.
Yeah.
Yep. Bang,
Yeah.
bang. Oh, gosh.
My favorite still is the Hermione Neville Longbottom thing where she's just like, where he like tries to catch them from leaving and she like freezes them, but with the gunshot she just like shoots him straight in the face.
Oh man, this hurts. Spell slinging adept requires cantrips.
Aw.
Oh.
Like I would have to make a little bit of effort to I'm gonna think about that for like a second.
I'm sure you have thoughts.
But,
Yeah.
Later, I might have a means by which to cheese this. Anyway,
Oh yeah, you have to have a cantrip, I say.
Okay, I should probably go talk to Justice.
Well, your crew is where they always are. And if you don't know where that is, that's in the sheriff office / jail.
All right, so I'm gonna go in there. Does Justice seem to be busy in particular with anything?
Nope. She is reading something behind the desk. Your boys are in the cells.
Cooling off or just slacking?
Oh, the doors are closed and apparently locked. And when you come in, you see them both like,
Oh, come on, boss. Tell her to let us out.
That sounds like both.
We didn't do anything wrong. We're sorry.
All right, Justice, what did the Bumblefuck twins do this time?
They got themselves in a fist fight over an apple pie.
Well, was the pie worth it?
Well, it was all right, but I should have had the last piece. No, I should have had the last piece. You can see what my problem is.
All right, I see where you're coming from. Did you two consider cutting the last slice in half?
they kind of stare at each other, dumbstruck, for about what feels like eternity, but is probably only a minute.
I'm going to take the strap silence as a
Well,
no.
that's why you're the sheriff, ain't you?
Yeah, about that.
You will notice Justice is just still reading, but
I took care of it.
you'll see there's a plate and a fork on the desk and crumbs.
Good lady. Assuming that she, of course, took the last slice for herself.
Correct.
Yeah, I'd say that's a fair. That's as fair a judgment as any. Anyway, Justice, I hope this day wouldn't come as soon as it did. I honestly did not expect to give you this as soon as I am. But
She's gonna put her book down.
I just want to say, things may be quiet around here, but what you done for us, you done a bang-up job. And
You fired me?
no, quite the opposite, in fact. And I'm going to toss her the package.
You want me to mail this?
No, it's already where it means to go.
You want me to open it?
Yes.
Okay.
Please, open. Please,
It's addressed
open.
to you. Opening up another person's mail is a federal crime. I don't want
Federal.
to. Okay.
All right, if you prefer, I do it. Even you prefer, I do it.
I got it. I just needed your permission. We'll tear the brown paper away, remove the box, and then just stare at the contents for a moment. A single tear begins to well in her right eye. There's a lot of pie crumbs in this room.
Yeah, I've got some stuff that needs taken care of, and I don't know when I'm going to be back. So in the meantime, all that you see before you, this town, the hill, etc., this is your jurisdiction right now.
Okay.
I trust you're going to be able to do everything you need to do to take care of this place. Things have been a little wild lately, but I trust you'll be able to handle it.
I'll do what I can. Taking Dumb and Dumber with you?
Take a quick glance at the cell. Nah, I think you got them well in hand.
Fuck. Okay. Well, you need anything, you send a owl or something. I don't know. We'll get it.
Yeah, we'll send a message if we need. Also, let's see. You know how to use one of these, and I pull out the fancy-ass scimitar.
I mean, you swing it, right?
I mean, that's the long and short of it.
Bunch. I reckon I can handle something like that.
All right, these are the signs of your jurisdiction. My explicit permission to be sheriff in this town while I'm out.
Well, I hope I do you proud. And like I said, you need me or these two chuckle fucks, and we'll come running.
That's what I like to hear. Well, I ain't exactly good at goodbyes, so I suppose this is it for now. Take care of yourself. Take care of these two. They need more help than they know.
She gives you a nod. Before you can leave, she's going to sloop to your level a little bit to give you a proper hug.
Come on, don't make this any harder than it has to be, Justice.
I ain't hard. You better not be hard either.
No, you know that the only thing in my heart is justice these days.
Okay.
And he's holding
now
back.
He's making it weird.
Damn it! I knew. It's like I knew. It's like I knew interning somebody with the. I knew interning somebody with your name was going to be weird someday.
This was the time, yeah.
Damn it! It got weird. Damn it!
It got really weird. All right, she's
None
gonna
of us
let you
are
go.
allowed to not
She's
be
gonna let-
awkward.
She's gonna let you go now. And dust herself off a bit and go back to the desk and. Yep.
The sheriff exits the building there. Tower will
I'm
say,
also going to let her know the The name of the group is the Red Ravens. If you ever need to send something out and needs to reach us somehow.
Okay, she writes on his paper, the Red Ravens. Got it.
Red Ravens, the Red Ravens. I'm sure it'll make it to us one way or another. Post office ain't that picky about it, right? Please don't let them be that picky about it. All right, and with that, I think we've got things set up.
Yeah.
And as the sheriff exits the building, Tower will be there, waiting. That was very romantic, Sheriff.
The hell you going on about?
That whole exchange between you and Justice, very sweet. I didn't know you were lovelier like that.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Do we get to keep that cart that we made? It might be very useful on our travels.
Oh, you mean the makeshift jail cart?
Yes.
That's actually a fair question. I don't see a reason why not. That was, whose cart was that to begin with?
No one's.
It was built from scratch.
Yeah.
That's a scratch cart? Yep, that's ours now. I
It
don't
would be
see
really-
anybody else calling dibs.
Practicing my acrobatics will be very easy in that cart as we travel.
Will it?
Maybe, I don't fucking know, whatever.
Hanging from the bars, using the poles.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that it would be any more difficult. I'm just curious. You know.
It was a thought I had. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, the jail cart
dancing.
will. Yes, the jail cart will be a lot of use, I think. Even just having a cart in general, but having one with a cover is probably nice.
Yeah, we got carts, we got horses. I think we're set.
I mean, that's up to you. That's up to you guys. You're entitled to it. It would otherwise just be kept at the jail in case of use.
I think it will be more useful with us.
Certainly.
You're not going to get any resistance to that idea if that's what you're worried about.
Aranoa wanted to do something other than just checking traps.
Sure. Yeah, of course.
The crystal that she pulled out of the door, she pulled out two, one discharged and one charged. I wanted to look at those closer and see if there was anything that, if I could figure out how to use it in a way that wouldn't discharge the one that is charged and could maybe be turned into some kind of trap.
Okay.
Is that something I could do?
And yeah, I think I understand it. So
Just trying to adapt that, what seemed like the power piece, the energy source for that trap on the doors. I wanted to try to turn it into my own trap that I could maybe plant into some dungeon that we go into later.
So, are we thinking like a grenade type thing?
Sure.
that what we're
Or
thinking?
like or something like with a tripwire or something like that.
Okay. Let me see. Okay. I'll need a tinker check.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
unfortunately low.
Yes. Let's see how unfortunate it is. I know there we go. It's this and it's this. What is this? D4. Okay. You try to put this thing together as best you can, but nothing seems. You don't get the sense that it's a working device. It might, but it doesn't look like anything's damaged.
Okay.
That was probably the best malfunction you could have rolled.
Yeah, I will take it. I'll try again another day.
I mean, I think we assumed a few days passed for this wagon thing to happen, so you can do another attempt if you want to.
Sure.
I mean, I hate to be this guy, but as somebody training something, how many days have passed?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. It was 2 days, like 2 days left for the packages to arrive, so it's like 2 or 3 days at this point.
Okay.
Since exiting the dungeon.
I'll mark it down as 2 days of training then, or 8 hours, I think, right? 8 hours out of 200 for a skill.
That sounds like what we've said in the past, so it sounds right this time as well.
Cool. Yep.
Okay, that roll, you feel like you have successfully created something, which
Eureka!
is it becomes an object that you feel like you could possibly throw if you wanted to.
Okay.
But you would need to get the line for it, but you could probably attach a line to it if you wanted it to like explode upon impact, or explode upon trip if you wanted to do that. But it will do, let's see here, it looks like 3d6 lightning damage.
Okay.
And it has a radius of 5.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense for this case, the more I'm looking at it. So I'm going to base it off this thing that's almost the same, but a little bit different. So change that to a radius of 15 feet instead.
Okay.
And I guess maybe that's the difference between how you choose to use it. If you have it so that it, if you throw it, it's like if you can throw it from 15 feet. If you set it up to trigger, then the amount that it triggers is that 5 feet, I think.
Okay.
Anyways. That's that.
But the radius then, so I can throw it 15 feet, but wherever it would land would still have a radius of 5 feet, though, right? It wouldn't suddenly do more area of damage.
Yes.
Okay, just double checking. I will write that down. Cool.
You feel like you've jury-rigged this device into a stable explosive. Or
love it.
Trap, depending on... Either way,
How
it's
I choose.
explosive.
All right, well, that's
Cool.
all Aranoa wanted to do.
And the reason you figure the other one that you have still hasn't powered up, and you feel like there was some sort of power that was energizing it at the time that it was a trap. So having disconnected it without it having stored that power, it's just like an empty source, Yeah.
Right.
Well, y'all got a wagon
Mm-hmm.
and have sold cattle.
Made explosives.
I believe it's time for us to move on.
Where are you hoping to move on to?
I believe the closest. Oh, go ahead. What was that?
Are there still those bounties out?
Yeah. They're
We
still
could
there
do one
at
of
the sheriff's
those.
office. I mean, the
Alright.
papers are.
Well, they were mostly for killing folk, right?
One was, but the other wasn't. They were wanted on suspicion of being a demon. Wanted
Ah.
alive.
Well, if we can pursue one of these while also moving towards the closest shop to sell this high-priced magic scroll at, I think doing those two things at the same time would be beneficial while also keeping our eyes out for any major dungeons we might be able to come across.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Sounds like work. Also, we got enough rations to go.
Depends where you're going. I think, like, just your general knowledge of the area. Athavis, the large city that's a week away, is like probably the closest big hustle and bustle place that would maybe be able to take this place in. Brightfield is just a little bit bigger, just a little bit more than what Mayfield is, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
But they're still considered quite small in terms of population and tourism.
Seems like that's not much an issue. A tower around.
Right. I was going to mention, I am quite used to wandering the land and have grown accustomed to finding food and water for my companions. I take none myself, but I have a good time tracking it down for the folks I travel with. And I should be able to find plenty for everyone, so long as the area we're traveling through isn't, dry, arid, and entirely inhospitable.
Well, sounds like we're mostly set then.
Mhm.
So your journey sounds like 3 days towards Brightfield, 4 days on to Athavis, excuse me, not Athavis.
That's where the bounty is. Or what's the? Oh, that's where we.
Your
sell
ultimate
the-
goal. Your ultimate goal is to try to sell the spell scroll.
Right. I got that now.
I'm assuming at Athavis, unless you have other ideas of something else for some reason, which let them be known if you do.
Well, closest big town sounds good.
And Athavis is considered like a city, like, classic San Francisco 1800s. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I believe, I don't think I said before, but yeah, I think that bounty that you're talking about is in that city as well, or at least from that city. It's the other place, it's the other bounty that's in between here and there.
And this whole area has been mapped out, right? Like we have a map available to us that if we want to before we leave, we can pick up or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to acquire a map. I think it's a good idea to have any place that's mapped out already. I'd like to get one of those things.
Yeah. It'll cost you like 1 silver. Yeah, the area you're heading in is like, yes, that is the part of the continent that has been like what's the word I'm looking for? Populated, developed.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Gotcha.
The place
Cool.
like
Just wanted
to
to be sure.
the southwest of you is what is not. You're like one of the last places to live before you enter the wild.
Right.
Elloria. Yeah.
Well,
That'll-
onward to civilization then.
Onward.
Let's go.
I'm riding my horse.
Of course, I imagine people are either riding a horse themselves or riding the wagon. I don't know what else you would do.
Tower is on the wagon, and spending as much time possible each day practicing acrobatics while the wagon's traveling along, if that's a possibility. Hopefully, while keeping a high vantage point, so anything that might be perceived, but not actively looking because practicing.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose I'll ride a horse if I got one.
You guys had enough horses to go around, so
Yep.
I'll ride my horse as long as Straw is willing to help me keep an eye on it.
I think you have. Let me just figure this out. I think you have 2 horses on the wagon itself, if memory serves. Is that wrong? Am I forgetting that you had more?
I think that's right.
And one of those can be Tower's horse. Tower has a specific horse that it is bonded with. So
okay. If you want that to be the case, you can do that.
Mhm.
Aranoa has a horse to herself. Straw has the horse they've always had, and now Flint also has a horse. Is that true?
Yep, sounds about right.
So 4 horse, 3. That's 5 horses total.
And
By my
then
count.
Should we have it be
Assuming-
6 and have 2 dedicated horses for the cart? That way the cart can still be pulled if you want to ride your own horse. Tower?
Well,
Yeah, I guess I
no.
just have an
Sure.
added question for the group.
hold on though. Well,
Sorry.
I guess
Okay, go ahead.
ask your question first. I don't
My question is, who's driving the cart?
Oh yeah, if we need a cart
jail
driver.
wagon?
Yeah, if we need a cart driver, I'll do it unless we got someone specifically trained in it.
Well, currently I haven't heard a single person be the driver for the cart, so and I'm just wondering, and it sounds like you're leaving your lackeys in town here, so I'm like, who's doing it?
Yeah,
I
it
would
sounds
like-
like Flint or Straw.
Okay.
No, I was gonna say I would like to ride mine because I have benefits for actually riding it. If we come across things,
Mhm.
Mhm.
But the other thing I was gonna say is, once we sell this scroll, I intend on buying a war horse. So then we will have another riding horse. So maybe we want to, I can always sell that too. But
Then for now, let's
yeah.
make my horse one of the pulley horses up until such time as it gets replaced with Straw's current horse. In which case, it will be free to ride alongside us until I'm ready to hop on top.
I mean, I know this is a little bit silly paperwork, but I'm just wondering. Yeah, someone's got to ride the.
Yeah.
Somehow the
Well,
cart
it's
has to go
important
with
if
you,
you're to
right?
get attacked or whatever.
And then the number of horses that you guys actually have. So just to once again.
And
do a
I imagine
final-
there's things like animated wagons or stuff like that, or self-driving carts that might be magicked up in a fantasy setting such as this.
I mean, maybe, but this is pulled
But
by
for
horses
now,
for sure.
yes. But for now, what we got is what we
So
got.
it is 5 horses, right, that we're dealing with?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
believe so.
And
Aranoa,
currently,
Straw.
Flint is free riding alongside the group.
Right. Okay.
Did we determine how long those animals lasted from the bag of-
After the next sunrise from when they were cast, they would have disappeared.
Okay. Just curious.
Am I not connected anymore? Can people hear me?
I can hear
I
you.
can hear you.
I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't hear y'all. Interesting.
Uh-oh.
That's not good. 5 horses. I'm gonna call it a jail cart.
Are we back? No.
No, we
I
can hear
can.
you.
I mean, I
Hear
can
you.
still hear you. Yeah.
That might do it. Hello?
Hello.
Oh.
Can you hear us?
Why can't I hear y'all? Okay, I'm gonna
Oh,
do.
no.
Did that fit
Because Discord.
Can you hear us?
That's fine.
in that one?
Hello, hello.
Hello. Can you hear us, Matthew?
My teacher the other day
I
went.
can hear you guys now.
Okay.
My teacher went the other day quite a while without realizing that whatever it was on her end, that she couldn't hear other people, and we're all like, she thought there was sound issues in general, and everyone's
Oh.
like, no, we're good, we
It's
can
just
hear them. Yeah, that she hadn't realized it.
Well, you know how it is. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just
That is pretty funny, though.
funny.
Last I heard, we were asking, do we know how long the bag of tricks animals lasted?
And I said that upon the next sunrise from when you had pulled them out of the bag, they disappeared at that first sunrise.
There you go.
So they disappeared while you were waiting for the wagon to show up with packages and such.
Because we could potentially use animals from that as well to pull
Sure.
the wagon.
However, we are at that point relying on chance. We could pull perhaps 3 rats and be screwed for the day, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I was just saying, like, wouldn't it be awesome if, like,
Or even
bears
3
were
goats.
pulling it?
Yeah, that would be great. Should we make it a habit to pull our 3 animals each day just to see what we get and just bring them along with us wherever we go?
I think so.
Well,
Sure.
you seem to be most animal liking, right, Arano? No, that's not true. Shra? I don't actually know.
Probably Shra.
Shra.
Have
Oh,
you
more than
I
me?
tend to kill animals more than
Oh.
take care of them.
did you happen to drag somebody a bag of tricks rust to a character sheet somewhere or something?
No, it's in
No.
shared.
Okay, that's fine.
Why?
Just ease of access to be able to
Oh, well, I suppose I have a saddle bag, so I could keep it
I got it
there.
here too. You just when you want to pull something from the bag, you just need to roll a d8 so we can figure out what it is. That's
But yeah, Shra, if you want to be the one that holds this thing, that probably is a good idea.
Sure. I guess I'll pull one out.
a goat appears where the ball
Yay!
forms. Blurp.
Someone else want to try?
I do.
Oh boy, okay. Wow, it's almost like we're in the other campaign as a giant boar forms.
Ooh.
Very weird, but fun. Lots of fun that just happened.
I feel strangely connected to this boar.
What breaks my heart is I don't think you can use these things for sustenance because I feel like if you take them to 0 hit points, they disappear.
Aw.
That breaks your heart?
Yeah, because that'd be an insanely cool,
Yeah.
use
Mm-hmm.
for just sustenance.
Ah,
Agreed.
I thought you were meaning at first because you said breaks my heart. I was expecting it to be something like that was sad for the animals, and I'm like, why would they want to be eaten? Anyways, who wants to go next?
Circle of life.
This is the whole campaign now, isn't it?
Pulling animals out of bags. Yeah.
I believe we just decided to do it every single day. Yes. Sure, I will roll a d8.
I don't understand
What's a
what you
D8?
mean, Tower.
Exactly.
Goat, even bigger than the one before, has now been summoned. We have a giant goat, a giant boar, and a goat.
Come along, friends. We have adventures to get to.
And they
What
will trot
a
alongside
group.
you.
All right, I'm gonna do a quick pause.
Okay. In which case, I'll get more liquid.
Ditto.
Yeah.
Already recording again. but it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just a few seconds. And only in video, because the audio is not going to stop. I figured it out how to just keep the audio going, because that's actually a 6-hour window, and the video is a 2-hour window. So I just throw the audio on there, and then I'll match up the video to the audio, and just keep it going. So it's really not a real pause. It's just the video pause. So I guess I could just not tell you guys, honestly, because there's not a lot of video stuff that you guys do.
Yeah.
If my mic is picking up like can openings and stuff, I just assume any listener will just assume I'm just going through a 6-pack, which I guess I'm fine with. Are we free to continue?
Yeah, we were. It was within like 10 seconds. It was a very short pause.
Within
okay.
5 seconds.
Yeah, I was. That's just what I was explaining. I didn't even pause the audio because I'm not going to do that. I figured a way around doing that. So really, I could just not tell you guys because there's not a lot of video stuff that you guys do anyway. So I think next time I just won't tell you guys because that just makes the most sense.
Well, your first day's journey, even with these creatures, is pretty easy. You are still within the veil. The tree line is in the distance. Oh, God. Let's drop that. But you still are out in this. I mean, I've played Red Dead Redemption 2. I know some others have as well. So I have like a particular view of what the climate and area looks like. Very much. I always think of Mayfield as the town of Valentine in a lot of ways, and that kind of like hillside, not climate, but geography, like grassland, if you will, is kind of what the Vale is like to me. And everything.
I know what you're picturing. I have it in my head too.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, pretty. Just pretty open. In the Vale, like I said, it is in like this kind of horseshoe of the Iron Mountains that kind of wrap around, and within it is where this town is and where all this happens, and it's pretty open. And ahead of you is like a portion of forest where Brightfield is. I feel like Brightfield's name used to be Brightwood before I decided to accidentally forget it and say Brightfield, but it's forever Brightfield now. That being said, the sun is setting. You can stop and camp here, or you could press on, which could incur what we would think of as fatigue and such the next day. Could be pushing into stuff like that to stay awake. It's up to you.
We're not in any particular rush. We can rest, right?
I agree. No rush necessary at this point in our travels.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure you all have the ability of with tools and such that you can make fires and things like that.
Yeah.
Bedding of some sort, even if it's just a bedroll out in the open. But the night is yours to sleep or whatever you wish to do.
I can keep an eye out for us if you all would like to sleep. And even fully rest myself during that time.
Sounds good to me.
Double checking. It doesn't look like the Sentinel shield requires attunement, right?
I believe that's the case. In the compendium, you can look, if you click the little I button and just type in Sentinel there or whatever, it should pop up to exactly what it is.
Yeah, no, it does not in fact require attunement, so if you're going to stay up the whole night, I could suggest holding on to this.
Oh, that is actually a good idea, and I'll just drop it if I get into combat. I'm actually much better without it. But until then, having This makes me feel like I can perceive things a little better.
Isn't it fun that it does say that it has a symbol with an eye on it? And I was
Yeah,
like,
that's pretty dope.
well, I
Yep.
know what that has to be then.
Hell.
What'd you say, Brian? I'm sorry.
Convenient as hell.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. It's just like flowing right into what we're looking for, or what I'm
Yeah.
looking for every time. I'm like, sweet, give me more. Keep doing this. All right. Well, go ahead and make that perception check as you take your night's watch.
Sure, I'll do it with advantage, holding on
course
to
you
the
will.
sheriff's shield. Just working on it.
Where is?
21.
Dare I roll this? Okay, I'm pretty sure I know what that is. All in all, it's pretty quiet. You just hear the ambiance of the that classic Americana like creature noise. Crickets, some kind of fowl in the distance cawing into the night. A howl or two. All that comes into view in the immediate vicinity of your campsite. That's not... I thought that was a monster manual. Ah. So many books. Are two bird-like creatures. Just a little ways into the distance, probably 20 feet from where... I assume there's like a campfire that's happened.
I would think
Not, let
so.
me know.
No, I think campfire, yes.
Assuming a dying campfire, it's probably about they're probably about 20 feet from where that is. Go ahead and make a nature check.
I will.
These creatures are large, just so you know, but they are bird-like. Was that supposed to still have the advantage?
Nope.
Didn't think so, but you know, we always take the first one. You would know that these are axe beaks.
Okay, that sounds dangerous. Do they appear to be...
It's a tall, flightless bird with strong legs and a heavy wedge-shaped beak. It has a nasty disposition and tends to attack any unfamiliar creature that wanders too close. But they seem to be picking at some kind of carcass that you can now see in the grass about 20 feet from you here.
Sure. Assuming I can keep my eye on them, I'll keep my eye on them, and as long as they don't approach to fuck with us, I'm not going to do anything to make a movement to let them know that we're here any further than they need to.
Yeah, I guess I should have led with that they're probably about the size of a horse in a, you know, it's not a perfect comparison, but you get the idea.
Yeah, it's a big old animal.
I know what we're talking about.
Parabird. But yeah, that's out. Two of those are out there about 20 feet from you. They seem to be picking a carcass. Don't seem to be making too much trouble right now. Your camp is pretty quiet. The horses might be the only issue, but for now, I should have made sure of that. But yeah, the horses don't seem to have noticed either.
Okay, then yeah. I'll
How do you guys
continue
handle
to-
the horses? That's my next question. Are they just freely there, like tied up somewhere? Do you put blinders on them for whatever reason?
I follow Shraw's lead.
I don't think so. No blinders.
You don't think so? What? No blinders.
No
okay.
blinders, but I mean, I think when we're settling down for the night, we should tie him up. onto, so they don't wander off.
Well, by any account, they're probably further than 20 feet from these birds, which 20 feet, that's up to you, but it might be a little close for comfort. But all in all, everything seems fine. They're out there.
Yep, and as long as they don't, approach or start to look like they're interested in us, tower's not going to raise the alarm there.
And after a time, they seem to kind of fuck off a little further.
That's
And the morning will eventually find you.
I let the people know what happened with the axe speaks. Yeah.
And just a reminder, of course, you actually don't have to spend the whole night in that state, right? Like
just the 6 hours.
just 6 hours. So if you're sleeping for 8, let's say, or whatever.
Oh, sure.
You have time to do whatever during that as well.
Yeah, training will happen. Actually, that will be the time during which Tower collects, food and stuff from the area while keeping an eye on everybody. Actually, that would probably require it to wander off some. So yeah, training during that time. A couple more hours of training.
Okay, you can add that to your training time.
Cool.
But those birds are no longer around, but they probably could be found if you needed to.
Yep, I just let folks know about it.
Yep. And when I say the morning finds you, I mean like the sun has risen, like is now. This is like first light of the day. So you're welcome to carry on, or make food, or whatever else you feel like you need to do.
Yeah, at this point, Flint is probably going to do his damnedest to sleep in until somebody tries to wake him up.
Once someone is up, Tower will take that time to wander off and gather the food for folk, find water and whatnot, as the wanderer ability allows for.
Arano is definitely an early riser, so.
Oh, yeah, so is Sha.
Well,
Okay, well, assuming the
Probably grumbles a lot.
sans Flint.
I'll be back shortly.
Yep.
mm-hmm.
What kind of food are you looking to find?
Generally, Tower is gonna go a more vegan route, looking for berries and wild forage and whatnot. If there's a quick and easy kill, an older animal perhaps, Tower might throw a dart and take it down, bring it in as well. But generally, it's going to be berries, nuts, any wild vegetables that might be found, that kind of thing.
Out here, I would say that you would find a couple wild onions and a few wild carrots that are strung about. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Having left the shield back at camp.
Right.
Yep.
You do find a plant.
Ooh.
But you're not sure what it is exactly. Do you have anything that might help you identify plants?
I really don't think I do. No, Tower's not a very naturey person in that way. So
You got a friend back at camp who might be able to do it.
Well, yeah, sure. I might, if I see a weird-looking plant that I can't identify, it looks particularly strange. Yeah, Tower might uproot it and bring back a sample.
It seems to be pink in nature, 5-petaled.
Yeah, that seems peculiar enough to
Could be
acquire
edible.
a sample. Yeah, acquire a
An
sample of
itch
if nothing else.
fee or deadly poison.
And Tower is not going to have too many quibbles about touching plants and whatnot. Poisons and things aren't going to, hurt Tower that much.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me.
So, yeah, going to go ahead and acquire a sample of that and bring it back. From the roots, generally, if possible. If it's too big, then, a branch or something.
Oh, you want to grab the whole thing?
If possible, yeah, from the roots.
If my understanding of this plant I have in question is true, the size of it varies. It's probably the size of a little bit smaller than a rose bush, if that makes sense, like a groomed rose bush.
Then maybe not the whole plant. That seems like pretty big. Maybe just a few branches, definitely including one of those flowers. At least.
This particular plant looks like it could grow quite large if left completely alone, but this is just taking hold out in the vale here.
Sure. So yeah, just a couple branches, including at least one of those flowers.
Oh, there's it's clustered quite a lot. Like I'll say if you grab like 1 to 2 branches, there's probably about 10 flowers collectively.
Perfect. Yep.
Yeah. And they're probably about $50 in size.
Oh, gotcha.
The flowers.
Yes. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Water's a little more difficult because you actually have to track a little ways off the beaten path to find the river that runs, in fact, by Mayfield out here. But your feature allows you to find food and water, so you find food and water.
Sure.
If you didn't have that feature, I might have qualms with you finding stuff out here just due to the nature of it, but you can. It's you find an area that water has found a way.
Sure. And Tower having like this innate ability to remember places they've been before, they probably have been out here at some point. So that. Cool. Then yeah, it'll bring back what it found and approach Aranoa with an interesting looking plant. I found this interesting looking plant.
Does Aranoa have a way to do this, like herbalist kit or something like that?
I
Or
was
like
thinking probably just like a nature check because
Sure.
she spends a lot of time in nature, especially in this area. Generally, well, I guess I don't know. Roll me a day out.
Aranoa does tend to have the right tools for the
Oh.
job.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know what it is right this second, but I bet I could figure it out in about an hour.
Well, think about it. I just thought it looked cool. I thought you might be interested.
I'll give you this. It looks pretty. It is like a in between like what I would consider 80s pink, like a hot pink,
Like
to almost like a baby pink at times. Like it's just
like nice ombre effect.
Could I try my hand at it to see if it's something that might be poisonous or something with a survival check?
That's a good call or a good suggestion. I mean, I'll allow it. I feel like I was going to say something else about the.
Sorry. Whoa!
But you're right about the right tools for the job. Like, that's a good call. That's a good feature, anyways. You remember a poem, just an old traveler's like wisdom, and something about 5 petals, and you remember that being like not a good thing in terms of consumption.
I don't know much about this plant specifically, but from what I know about things that might harm you, this one's ringing some bells.
Sounds like something that might be useful in some type of trap. Or weapon, perhaps.
Could be.
The thought of preparing to do things damage does make me feel uneasy.
But perhaps it's the right kind of damage. I don't know for sure. You know, something that just maybe puts them out for a bit, doesn't necessarily kill.
Sure.
That would take
sure.
more, knowledge and investigating on that.
Well, maybe Aranoa will come up with the right tool and help us out with this at some point in the future.
But best leave it out of breakfast, that's all I'm saying.
Oh, yes.
Wild
Picking
Tower
up breakfast. And Tower produces breakfast for folk that it found.
While Tower was out, I'd like to have tended to all the horses to make sure they're all doing okay and to keep them in top shape.
Okay. No worries. You're attending to them. You know how they're doing quite well at the moment. Breakfast is bad. It's probably about the time after breakfast that I guess Aranoa and Shra would feel a slight tingling, burning sensation on their fingertips.
From touching the plant?
Maybe.
Well, that's not good. Would I know if...
And looking down at your hands now, your skin does feel, or scale, depending on what you're dealing with, does feel irritated.
Would I know of some counter agent?
Would probably be more of like some kind of medicine thing. Figure that
A
out.
little bit of medicine. But not so much.
Aranoa wants to see if they know anything that would help.
Okay.
Can I roll nature for that? Or medicine?
This is just telling me this. I'm just getting a real medicine vibe from this whole aspect. So,
Woo!
well, there you go.
Perhaps training in medicine is something I should do next.
Not be a bad idea.
I hate forcing choices on characters just because I personally start making people roll things a lot, but
No, it's the
yeah.
world, right? It's making the character fit into the world. And if the
Right.
world is
I
requiring
suppose.
medicine checks, that's what, Just like there's not a whole bunch of magic in our party, but there's magic in the world, we need some form of knowledge of that too. It's just
Suppose.
the characters need to deal
If
with
for
the
some reason you
environment.
think I'm way off base with my reasoning, I'm willing
not
to
at
hear,
all.
I'm willing to hear suggestion, but
Yeah, in this case, medicine seemed entirely correct.
Yeah.
that
I'm
being
always
said,
going to try to roll the thing that's best for my characters.
of course, I'm not saying we shouldn't, but and I want you to be able to roll as well as you can, right?
For sure.
Like, it's not fun to just punish you every second of every playtime. But I thought about it. It makes sense, but I do feel like in this case, we're talking about a remedy.
Yeah.
It's very medicine-y.
Totally.
I suppose I could anyways, doesn't matter. You rolled very high for medicine. You immediately tap into your native elven roots, and you realize that you could probably whip up a salve if you gather the right ingredients that is used for rash remedy, soothing skin. I don't want to outright
go
say
to do that if I
aloe vera,
can.
but I don't want to outright say aloe vera, but
Sure.
something calamine, something to that effect.
I'm going to go look for some.
So
It's
it will
probably
help.
about this time that Flint has been roused from his sleep by the smell of good breakfast.
I'm not going to make you roll to figure all this out. You've done it with the medicine check. You are able to collect some simple nearby plant life that you know to be good for this, and are able to whip up a salve, and your guys' hands feel better.
Nice.
All right.
You feel like you should probably be more careful about handling this with your bare hands. Just now, not necessarily knowing what it is, but just knowing some more facts about
Well,
it.
I suppose I should have stated when I was wanting to check it that I didn't really want to touch it, but that's all right.
Okay, that sounds fair.
What is the name of the plant that we found here?
No idea yet. We've only looked at it and we have not identified it yet.
I'm picturing the sheriff just waking up right now after we've done all of this.
Yeah, what you
Yeah,
find,
you just
Flint, is a beautiful breakfast sprawled out, and even like someone has placed these beautiful flowers as some sort of like, not a garnish to the meal, but like, you know,
A
an
table setting.
ambiance. Yeah, a table setting. That's what it basically would look like to me. I'm not saying you guys put the flowers down right next to the food at this
Sure.
point. That's not what I mean. I just mean like they are in the camp in view, and they are adding this ambiance to the meal.
But
Yeah,
Sheriff,
they-
I'd
they
stay away
identify?
from those flowers. The plant, it doesn't react well to the skin.
Yeah, can I make a nature check to identify it?
Yeah, that's what I was doing, right? Sheriff, you know this to be oleander. It is highly poisonous. It is fast growing. It is highly poisonous to people, pets. Side effects might include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, weakness, headache, stomach pain, serious heart problems, and much more.
Like, y'all touched the oleander, didn't you?
Well, in my head, I was thinking I didn't, but I guess I did.
Somebody
Yes,
here touched oleander, didn't they?
I definitely touched the oleander.
Yeah, I did too.
So I just feel like I'm going to say this now, and it kind of applies to all games. If you don't tell Dominic, the DM, that you're
No,
not
I know. That's
handling-
what I
know,
was
I'm just saying.
saying.
I know. I'm just saying, like, if you don't tell me that you're specifically not physically handling something to inspect it, I'm going to end up assuming that you're physically inspecting it with your hands or something like that, right?
Mhm. That
So,
makes sense to me.
just for the clarity of our games, all games going forward, if you don't want me to jump to the conclusion that you're touching it with your hands, tell me you're not touching it with your hands, because I will do that.
Yeah,
I know myself.
That being
Something
said,
that
yeah.
can hurt.
Oh, wait a minute.
Not
So the sheriff just touched it with their hands too.
No, I just looked at it.
You didn't
I
say.
rolled a
That is
19.
true.
That's high
I
enough to
rolled
know
a
I don't
24.
fuck oleander. Wait, you got a 24 for that?
A survival.
Yeah, but I was checking specifically to see if it was poisonous. I know I did not say that I didn't touch it, but
But,
anywho, water
you-
under the
Here is the clarity of that. Shra, you said, Sheriff, I wouldn't touch that plant if I were you. And then Flint said, can I roll a nature check to try and determine it? So he was warned ahead of time. Because you already touched it.
That said, Sheriff, oleander, is it going to be useful for us going forward? Any kind of crap to be made from that?
You do know that diarrhea is one of the symptoms, Flint, so crap can be made from it.
Well, I can tell you what, if you mix this with a bit of aloe vera, boil it for long enough, you get some of the most wicked hangovers you've imagined.
It sounds horrible.
Well, some people just need to split their heads open, you know? I mean, to be fair, it's a dwarven drink, so we look for strong stuff.
That sounds really fucked up.
Hey, you got resistance to poison, you don't give a shit.
Assuming you start
right.
your... What?
I was wondering what kind of resistances I might have.
Okay, well, I'll let you look into that yourself. someone was keeping a watch while you guys travel, right? Isn't that true?
Tower, I thought.
Yeah, Tower generally is keeping an eye out while doing their thing.
Hmm.
Well, if you-
Mostly near the top of the cage, so
Mhm.
therefore a better vantage point.
Well, if you feel like you're doing that, go ahead and make a perception check as you travel during the second day, ever closer to the woods, to the forest, excuse me. Not quite in the tree line, but probably about 500
hey.
feet. What?
Sorry. I was just this is how I do it. I was just realizing that this says, you know the edible plants of sandy waste and are able to scrounge enough food for yourself and one other person upon them. So that's even
Boom.
more reason why we can
Find food and whatnot.
Yeah.
Even in arid country.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway, sorry to distract.
Which you do know to be more to the west in that area too. Like, you guys obviously found a forest where you found that temple, but even beyond that, that is definitely the kind of climate that becomes more arid and more of what we think of when we think of the southwest areas. Just for further clarification. But back to the issue at hand, Tower, it's probably about 500 feet from your current position. And I don't know how, I guess I forgot to ask how hard you're riding these horses. Is it just like a relaxed pace or what? So I'm not quite sure how long that means it is until you reach this point. But 500 feet from where you are, you do see what looks to be a single entity standing in the road, and what might be a horse to their side.
Okay, and I'm gonna do a little flashy back thing here to like right before we leave for the whole trip.
Sure. That's fine.
So fellows, I think we should talk about travel pace on this journey. Just so we can establish, how we're gonna travel. I think it should be fairly gentle. I don't think there's any real need to stress ourselves or our horses in any real manner until such point as we get into a stressful situation.
Yeah, we're in no rush right now.
I agree entirely.
And then we dissolve back into the current times. Okay, folks, there seems to be somebody up on the road ahead, and I describe.
So I'm just going to count it as slightly slower than a normal horse speed, if that makes sense.
Sure,
Yep.
Totally, yep.
Under speed, just to kind of enjoy it, if you will.
Yeah, no rush.
Right.
Along for the ride.
And they are but a, amalgamous form in the distance, if I'm using that word correctly. They are just, they're there, but trying to make out detail without some sort of device that would let you see further, it's really hard to.
You said on a horse or with a horse?
They are off a horse.
Okay.
But there seems to be what would appear to be a horse at this distance.
Right. Another creature of riding size.
Mm-hmm. I suppose they're like standing a football field and 2/3 of one away from you. I guess that's not quite as far as I think initially, but you get the picture, I think. If you don't, we can talk about it more.
Unless they're a real badass, they shouldn't be any kind of threat to our group as yet, but how should we approach this situation?
Slow down. At a calm pace.
Well then, let's
as
continue onward.
Not to provoke.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep.
I would
We
just
could
keep
send
going.
some. Yeah. Okay. Let's just keep on going then. I have no reason not to do that. I just thought we might be more cautious as a whole. But again, no reason to be.
Okay.
Tell you what, if they decide to fuck with us for whatever reason, I owe you a sarsaparilla.
Okay.
You gotta have faith in folks out here.
Absolutely. I'm not saying not to. It's fine. Let's continue on. Does anybody know anything about acrobatics? Am I doing this right?
Does anyone know anything about acrobatics? You've got some
That's
time.
fine to me.
You've got a few minutes before you get into.
As far
the
as
meat
I
of
can
whatever
tell, it
this
looks
is.
great.
Yeah, I don't know much, but you're looking pretty nifty.
Sheriff, are you trained?
No, but it looks right.
Okay. Right on. I'll just feel this out then.
It is a little weird that I'm letting you train this without a trainer, but it's physical stuff.
Yeah,
Watch a YouTube or two and figure it out, right?
absolutely. I don't know.
Well,
It's
you got all the bars to practice on, so that's good.
Yeah, I have the proper equipment. That's the situation.
right. No, exactly. That is true. Proper equipment is there. Where is this thing? But as you come closer and can start to make out details, you do see that this seems to be a humanoid figure. And the most distinguishing features of that individual so far is that they seem to be wearing a stalker hat and a duster.
Interesting.
What's a stalker hat?
Is much
Sherlock
like a cowboy
Holmes?
hat.
Oh, am I tripping?
Yeah,
A
you're
what?
tripping.
I'm
a stalker,
tripping.
a stalker hat. How familiar are you with Western movies?
Not
Not at all?
Not
Okay.
especially, no.
Then let me try to figure out a different way to help you.
Oh, but that does come up too. Deer stalker hat is the Sherlock.
Oh,
Holmes
yeah,
hat.
well,
Your
What
hat.
I'm used
Is
to.
boom? I'm wrong. I'm wrong because it was the wrong
Okay.
kind of stalker.
I
was
love
talking-
that. I got it.
got it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like the hats
Like a
that
flat
Clint
top,
Eastwood-
a flat top
Mhm.
cowboy hat,
Correct.
right? Okay,
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah. It's like so classic that Clint Eastwood in most of his movies, I would argue, is probably wearing a stalker hat.
Whether he's
All the
good,
ones
bad,
I can
or
think of.
ugly.
He's the good in that movie.
Or
Okay.
all
Yes,
of
I
the
know.
above.
I know. I remember the movie. He's the man with no name.
Yeah, that movie is
And it's
pretty
So-
good.
does his horse have no name too?
Is it?
Oh,
is
shit.
It
Is he in
one
the
that's,
desert?
in the skiff?
Well, first I have to try and figure out how to get to that GIF for some reason because it went all goofy on me.
You know what's weird is
It's
it's
stuff from
mostly
critics.
Sherlock Holmes
Yeah,
hats
yeah,
coming
That's
up.
it. The one that Clint Eastwood is wearing
Yeah.
in this GIF, that's the one.
Straight up, the brim Western hat.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I mean, there's many different cowboy hats.
Western stalker.
This is very much a look.
The Clint Eastwood look.
Yeah. And that's practically the look you're getting as you get closer and start to make out a few details. Like I said, they have this poncho duster. Nah, it's a duster. It's not a poncho. That's too big.
I guess I technically have a cowboy hat on. I was gonna say,
And
and
you-
see what I'm wearing too.
At this point, they're probably about 15 feet away. You can now tell that under the duster, they seem to be wearing what looks to be some sort of half plate. They do seem to have a bandolier that runs, crossways across their chest. Their skin at this point, now that you've gotten that close, seems to be a virulent purple.
Oh.
And they are still just standing there,
Oh?
kind of blocking the path that you would like to travel in.
Do you recognize this individual?
Virulent purple, you said.
Purple
Yes.
skin tones do seem to ring a bell for a certain type of creature. Are we not looking for somebody who might be a demon?
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Was
By
this
the way,
part-
like,
Why, yes, we
just
are.
the kings are gonna need to wrap up fairly shortly to
Yep.
eat dinner and whatnot. So
Yeah, that's fine.
Right,
We can
wait.
wrap up in just a minute. I'm just giving
Oh.
you the chance to interact with this individual who's
perfect. Yes.
essentially blocking your path.
Sheriff, you want to say something to this person?
Yep, on it.
Are you stopping the horses or are you going to run them down? Oh, and as well as what I just said, another important fact, now that you're this close, you can also see their mount course. And while it does look to be equestrian, I would like some nature checks out of people who want to try and identify it. I would give Aranoa advantage for reasons. Where is that book and where is stuff? Let me get
Alright.
out
Right.
Discord real quick.
Get something for knowing a lot about animals.
Also, when we say at this distance, are we at 60 feet yet?
If you'd rather be at 60 feet than the 15 feet I said before, then yes, you can be at 60 feet, and we'll call it that distance.
All right, I'm doing my paladin ping.
None of celestial, fiend, or undead.
Correct.
None of the above. Sorry, I'm trying to flip to the page that has this creature from
Well,
the
there are
mount.
high rolls, so it don't.
And the problem I'm having with that is I have 10,000 books, and I don't remember which book I pulled it from. I just remember like that thing was neat looking, and I'm keeping that.
Yeah.
So just give me 1 sec to figure that out. I know it's probably one of these two, but I have a tendency to skip over something. At any rate, those that are rolling that high would know that this is a special type of horse used mainly by elves, in fact. I thought it started with a V. Sorry, guys. Usually I'm smarter and I write down page numbers. I really thought it was Volo's guide. It's like no one knows what I'm talking about, right? There's a dog and a horse in one of these books that have the same kind of look.
No, I'm not sure what you mean at all.
Yeah,
A horse.
it's not a normal horse.
You're thinking Volos?
I thought it was in Volo's. But like I said, I have about 200 of these books now. And
You said
I can
10,000.
yeah. This is taking a long time. He has a really special looking horse. Sparkly,
It's not like it's a big rush.
swirling
Each one-
blues. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know you wanted to stop soon, and now I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm holding up the whole show. I know we'll just fix the recording in post, but
I don't know why you're
bugging-
not just reading the script. It's right there in front of you.
I know, yeah. Why did I go off script? It's just, it always weirds me out when I lose stuff like this. Because I'm like, I know it exists in one of these books. That's why I decided to use it. I know it's not in the standard monster manual. I doubt it's in Ghosts of Salt Marsh. But you know where else it could be? It could be right out of this Eberron book. How much you want to bet? I flipped right to it. Great.
Yay!
It's a Valinar steed. That's what it is. Bluish in color. It almost has a goatee at the end of its chin and tufts of hair at the top of its ears. Otherwise looking like a normal, beautiful racehorse, but blue with almost like a not spectral, wrong term. A
Radiant?
its body is almost reflecting what you see in the night sky. It looks like a starscape across it to a certain degree. It's and its hair is like different shades of purples, blues, and turquoise all swirled around. Very fancy. That was a long way to get to say that. And so being 60 feet from this person, you see that they are just standing there, blocking your path. Don't necessarily look incredibly hostile at this point, but they do look ready. At the ready.
Call out to him. Hey there, stranger. Anything we can help you with out here?
60 feet away. You just hear in the distance, at that distance, back to you. I reckon there is. You keep pursuing forward? Have you stopped at the 60 feet away mark?
Let's
I
get in.
assume we're still walking.
Keep moving a bit. We'll stop before we get to him, but
Like what, maybe 10 feet away? That's what I'm imagining.
yeah, park the horses about 10 feet from him. It sounds good.
Sure. Everything I said before is true. Verdant purple skin. Although now being so close, you can see what skin is exposed. Seems to have possibly tattoos across the surfaces. Almost looks like henna, if you know what I'm talking about. And one thing that sticks out even more so above all that is that he seems to have, under the hat portion, kind of cresting from the back of his head above his ears and around to the front, is what I would describe as, what's it called exactly? Sorry, doing it again. An elder cross.
An elder cross. Do I know what this is? I don't know if I do.
You mean like an elder sign or something I don't understand?
That is they almost look like horns that come around, that crown around across like the temple area and just poke up above into the hat area, if that makes any kind of sense. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I'll be able to find a picture without spoiling you. He seems to have hair that is tied back. Let me see. Can someone please explain what this is? Perfect. Like a wreath. It's like a living wreath that is wrapped around the top of their head. But does that make any sense to you when I say that?
Yes. Yeah.
Like a Caesar crown, if you will, but not necessarily leaves. It looks horn-esque. in this case.
A Caesar-esque wreath in the shape of horns.
Yes.
Okay, that's clearer. I've got a hell of an image in me right now.
It's about the best way I can try to describe it without outright being more specific than I want to be. That's what you see. Longer, dark, black-ish hair that is bound in like a shorter ponytail underneath the stalker hat. A bandana tied around his neck. Stopping 10 feet, that's what you see. Morning to y'all.
Good morning.
Morning. You
Yeah.
all right there?
Oh, I'm a lot better now. See, I'd like to exchange pleasantries, but well, I'll cut to the chase. You got something I need, and well, I'd ask you to hand it over, and we part ways.
You see you're greatly outnumbered here, right?
That's
Well,
your opinion.
personally, I'm interested to know what it is you're looking for.
Oh, you see, it's about this here big, shaped like this, as he moves his fingers into the shape of the device piece that you know you have a hold of right now.
I was very much laughing just now.
Yeah, the
That was
exact
very funny.
description we got in the thing. Yeah.
What?
That's literally exactly how it's described in the
About
collection.
this big, yeah. That
Yep.
yes, yeah. That was very funny. I thought that was all I was saying.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Gotta
Yeah.
keep things consistent.
All right, and once that is acknowledged as a thing of importance, I'm going to like vaguely turn back to the rest of the party and just lightly mouth like, "I knew it. I told you so."
So if you'd be much obliged. And he extends his hand as if to accept it. Go ahead and make a perception check, if you will.
Oh, I will.
Let me get back to the
I
actual.
don't think I
Certainly.
technically have shield in hand at the moment, but oof.
Yeah, this guy is giving off weird vibes.
Now he is. Yeah, now he is.
But Shra, what you definitely see, he appears to be heavily tattooed to some degree. It almost looks like etched in his skin, like it's scarred over where these images are happening. But one image you're able to make out is a big winding serpent-like image across his forearm, with the snake head itself being on the inside of his hand.
Do I recognize him?
Make a religion check. Looks like a snake. Like I said, I'm in a bit of a hurry, so if you wouldn't
Right.
mind.
Don't suppose you might be willing to impart upon us the importance of said object you are currently looking for?
Well, let's just say some of us are born for greatness. And I'm gonna be needing that to fulfill my greatness.
I'm
What do you-
definitely getting some vibes here that say maybe you ain't quite meant for greatness. I don't think we're exactly in the market to sell the item in question.
Oh, I ain't looking to buy.
Didn't think you were.
What do you know of it?
What?
The item.
Are you asking him something? I'm not making out what you asked.
Yeah, I said, what do you know of it?
If you have to ask, looks like I know far more than you.
All right.
I'm gonna be mighty disappointed if this has to go the other way. But I understand you have your convictions. Last chance. Hand me the device now. We part as friends.
Seems as though you have put us at a literal impasse here.
I like to think of it as a barrier. A door, perhaps, that can be opened.
I'd like to see it as self-defense in about 3 seconds.
That's the way you're fixing it, and guess that's the way it's gonna be.
Yeah, looks like it's official. Draw.
Yep. That will sound like an initiative to be had,
Next time.
and we'll see how that draw shakes out as Flint time slows down and you see this gentleman going to move his duster to the side.
Are we doing that right now or at the top of next time?
What's easier for everyone? Should we just do it next time? Top of the day?
I think so. Otherwise, it's just going to be information sitting there, right? It's not going to
Yeah,
do us any
exactly.
good.
So we'll wait on that. But know that we are right in the midst of, I guess, yeah, a draw.
Nice. Great time for a theme song.
Only one guy. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. Which, speaking of the theme song, man, the drop on the editing of episode 5, if you want to like listen to the last 2 minutes of that episode, it goes well.
Good.
But yeah.
Is this how this works? It is.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah. It's coming, right? Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
So smooth. Thank you for the session tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. I enjoy doing it.
I
I
enjoyed
look forward to
playing.
being able to dash as a bonus action.
Do we think we're going to meet up for this tomorrow?
I think
I-
so.
I doubt it.
Okay.
I have to go and help my mom with grocery shopping and possibly go with her to her work again after work tomorrow.
No worries.
Yep.
Just gives me more time to build the session the session required. That's all.
So we are caught up to everything you prepped for this then.
Oh, we've been caught up.
Brave new world, guys.
Not necessarily my plans for this, but just things that I had absolutely stockpiled. Yes.
Sure. And we're not pushing like too many sessions too quickly, right? Like you can always tell us, no, I'm not ready or whatever.
I think we'll be okay. I had like so long to think about some stuff and I just wasn't. So, you know, because why would I think about that when I'm playing the other thing? You know what I mean? So we're good. We're good.
Oh,
Cool.
also, don't let me forget, Dom. There is like 1 or 2 things for character background I do want to run by you.
For this character's background?
Yeah.
I mean, you can do that a number of ways. But
All right, I'll send you a thing.
sure. Sounds good.
Well, for
Cool.
now, I'm sure you can hear things frying in the background. We're
Yep.
gonna be eating dinner, so
Take care. Have a good night.
yep.
Excuse me.
Talk to y'all later.
You all too.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Good night.
night.
Good
Good
night.
night.